yet. And I think election day in 2012 will probably be the lowest that they are yet. And that's why I know that we have got a message and we have got a winning streak. And I firmly believe that 2012 will not just be a blowout election for the presidency. I believe that 2012 will be a wave election that goes all across the United States and will even take in the Golden State. I am so excited about this. So don't be disheartened, Republican Party of California. Don't be downhearted. I know you've had a few tough elections in this state. Well, maybe more than a few. But I think that this is my advice for you. If I was you, I would go out and recruit the finest candidates that you can find, from county supervisor to the school board, to your state assembly, to your state senate. Every race and every office that you have, I would recruit. And in fact, if there's any Republicans from Marin County, I would even be recruiting in Marin County, all across this. Oh, we got one! We got a Republican from Marin County! I know we got that. This is how confident I am about what we can do. I started my campaigning yesterday morning up in Marin County in California, and we had a house full of people that were practically spilling out into the yard, because I'm here to tell you, conservatives and Republicans all across America can't wait to take their country back, even in Marin County. Entirely possible, because as Tom said, I am the first Republican woman ever to get elected out of Minnesota. You think you have a tough neighborhood? Senator Al Franken. That's all I have to tell you. That's the tough neighborhood that I get elected out of. But you see, I had a distinct advantage. I grew up in a home where it was 3 brothers and no sisters. That's the best preparation for politics any girl could ever have. And the boys learn pretty quick in our family, don't mess with your sister. It's great training. But before I go any further, I do have to have a confession, and I have to apologize to you all tonight, because I did not bring my teleprompters with me tonight. And I know you've never seen a president without their teleprompters, but I want you to know, in the Bachman White House, there will be no teleprompters. Because I firmly believe that Californians can take the raw, unvarnished truth, don't you? And you also need to know this about me. There will be no czars in the Bachman White House either. Because I really like the Constitution, and I think that we should follow it, don't you?
Yeah.
That's what I think. And here's something else I want you to know about me. I will never step one toe out of the United States and apologize for our great country. That have ever been contained in a political document. They were set down by Thomas Jefferson himself when he wrote that all of us are created equal, that we have been given liberty and we have been given power by a creator God. This nation is unparalleled in the world because we have been blessed by God, because the founders of this nation recognized that we would all be in peril if they didn't get down on their knees and ask God for his blessings. Not only just in the writing of that document, but throughout fighting for our liberty and for our freedom. And God answered those prayers of our nation. And we yet today, some 235 years later, are the beneficiaries of what they have done for us. And we need to consider and not take lightly the fact that not only did they pour out their very lifeblood and their treasure and their sacred honor, as that document records, we also need to realize that they set something for us which is their example for us to live up to. Because of the sacrifice they made for us, they set that example for every succeeding generation to live up to that example, to live up to those words that they wrote down and that they paid for, even with their very lives. And so we can never forget that every generation for 235 years has successfully transferred that torch of liberty. Really, they fashioned a chain of liberty every single generation. They faithfully forged that chain up until now, at the time of 2011. And that's really the question that we have to consider right now. Will we now, in our day and time, when that chain has been handed to us, will we corporately and successfully fashion our chain in this generation so that the next generation will have the very opportunities and the chances that we know today? I know that it's possible. I know that people all across America can't wait to fashion that chain. They look to Washington, D.C., and they say, we don't think that that will happen anymore. As a matter of fact, if you look at polling data, it's almost 3/4 of the American people that answer this to the question. Do you think that the next generation will be as well off as we are today? And 3/4 of those who answer that survey will say, I don't think that the next generation will be as well off. Do you know that in our history, we have never seen 3/4 of the American people pessimistic about whether the next generation will have the same standard of living or better? But I also see something else. In the midst of that pessimism, no matter where I go across the United States, I see the hearts and minds of the American people, and buried within that fear, they still have the hope